guys. Looking for my notification.
See when you're told we're on.
Yeah.
Guess what I brought extra of today?
Design pens, design boards. Nice work.
I brought extra design boards.
Oh, good. The house is up here.
Yeah.
Oh, see,
Sarita found us. Okay.
found it. I just have to do it.
Hello, hello.
That's not.
All right, so we're gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna play with some different things. We usually sew with squares or triangles. This time we're gonna go with triangles and not of the square cut in half variety. We are going to be doing 60-degree equilateral triangles. If you don't remember your geometry, every triangle of any form is gonna, the degree totals of the corners are gonna equal 180 degrees. That's how the triangle
Trying to
closes.
get me to make an ad.
You don't need an ad. An equilateral triangle will be made up because all three corners are 60 degrees, therefore that equals 180. And because the angles are all the same,
Oh, hello everybody.
the
I can
sides
see comments now.
will also all be the same.
Whoa. And my kids
So-
were using my iPad, sorry.
That's an equilateral triangle. Same angles in the corners, same length on the sides. Actually, the ruler I showed you guys last time that I was going to use, I wasn't using my brain. That's a 45-degree ruler.
This is a 60.
This is a 60.
Is a bigger guy.
It's a little fatter on the bottom.
So this is a pyramid. We use the 45.
Well,
to
you
do
use
our
a 45 for the kaleidoscope, and
stack
that's
and whack.
8. And to make that kaleidoscope, you have 8 triangles.
The 60
This
will
one
make
would be 6. I used the 60-degree triangle on my Bumblebee Blossoms quilt. So if you've seen that one,
It was a mini though.
it was a smaller one. We only used like 4.5 inches. Look to here.
Yep.
One of the cool things about these rulers, you'll see, there's no measurements on the sides. You want to know why? Because we don't care.
We want to know top to bottom.
We want to know top to bottom. We want to know how tall the
And
triangle is,
It has this squared off top,
which
is
makes
also
placing them so
very
much
helpful.
easier. So,
Yeah, sorry. It got hot outside today, and now the shop's
oh,
hot.
it's hot in my building. I'm like
It's all good.
sweating. Okay, anyway, this is the ruler we're going to use.
Jen cut up an entire
I-
fat quarter bundle of 32.
I don't know, a lot.
Fat quarters.
I cut an entire fat quarter bundle up last night because I am dealing with triangles, which means I'm cutting across grains. I best pressed all of these before I cut them out.
So when you are going to use cut out of a fat quarter, please iron
Oh,
the
for
fat
the look,
quarter
it's
first.
not
Don't
flat.
try and cut on the folds. It's probably going to mess you up. It's just worth pressing
Just
them
iron
first.
it.
And a little bit of best press will get the bulk of that fold out.
Right.
And so double perk, it got the fold out so it could be accurate.
Really flat.
And now all of our pieces are nicely
They're
firmed
all
up.
Yeah, they're firmed up. You know, the best press also acts as a sizing, so it's just gonna stay the same size it is. I'm not gonna have to worry as much about the pulling. That being said, I'm still gonna be careful. All right. So one of the fun things, the project we're working on, I linked the free pattern in the description for this video. I can talk. This is called Pyramids. It's a project that was done using the Goldenrod fabric collection. However, that's an old one. It's out of date, hence the reason the pattern's free. I decided to make this out of Dandy Annie, which is also an old fabric collection.
We had none of it, I'm sorry.
Right, well, we left this on the shelf for like a year and nobody bought it.
So Jen did.
So I got it.
So we don't have
bought
this exact line, although this is Robin Pickens fabric, and this is her, this is 3 lines ago?
3 lines
Three
ago.
or 4. We do have her newest line. It is called Abbey Rose, and it's gorgeous. And we have
fat quarter
bundles ready to go tomorrow.
They're ready to go
Tonight.
now. I'm done.
They're listed on the website. I'm going to grab a layer cake to show you the new line that looks, it's her new version.
It's
So,
her new
you
version.
talk.
What you want for a pattern like this is you're going to want some big patterns. So you'll see like with Dandy Annie here, there's some nice big prints. You're going to want some good big prints. Now, if it was made up of all big prints, it's going to end up looking crazy busy. So you're also going to want some small ones just with some nice texture. So this is a nice medium-sized to small print. It's some good texture. It also has some good geometrics.
This is Robin's newest line. It just arrived. It's called Abbey Rose. There's some huge, big, pretty florals. Lots of great color.
Beautiful
You
colors.
can't see. Sorry. There's just no way for me to show it to you up close. You can see them all on our website.
Oh,
but there's
gorgeous.
fat quarters bundles of this ready.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for something fun with some big prints and some great texture.
Right, she has a good mixture of big, medium, small prints. Liz and I are gonna
Then
do.
this is a fun layer cake pattern.
Liz and I are gonna do a live class, maybe next week, maybe the week after, where we talk about color and print size. So that's gonna be totally a technique class, which will be fun.
We might have to throw a project in with it just to not be too boring.
Right, just so we're not too boring. But if you wanted to make this quilt, it is it requires only 15 fat quarters. So I have way too many. I am gonna make mine bigger with some matching pillow shams, because why not?
Because she's got a whole fat quarter bundle to work
Because I have a
with,
whole
so
fat
she's
quarter
gonna do it.
bundle and I didn't want to choose what to cut where, so I just cut it all. So it's 15 fat quarters plus some background fabric. To make it her size, it's 2 3/4. I didn't want to use a solid for mine, so I went ahead and picked, this looks like a solid to you guys. This is Grunge by Basic Gray. This is the white. There's just got some texture. It's got a bit of a creamy background with white printed on as well as a light gray printed on. So it's going to play really nicely with the fabric that I have. All right, really quick, we're going to take a break. Okay. This has been the product of the day.
It's a bias tape maker.
Now that people have come to understand that elastic is gone.
And it's really not the best product for making a mask.
I
know I said we weren't going to talk masks, but I'm going to show you
talk.
guys about a bias tape maker.
It works great for, elastic works great for a mask you're only going to wear for a little while, but all day it's a little hard. Anyway.
It'll chafe your ears.
We have a lot of people asking about bias tape makers. This is the 1 inch, or the, what? So many millimeters? I don't know. 25 millimeters. It's the 1 inch. To use this, I had several people ask how to use it, so we're going to do it.
This is a bias tape maker. This will not complete the double fold. But you have to do that manually.
It gets you like 2/3 of the way there.
You can have a tool to push it through. I just cut the edge of my strip of fabric to a point.
It's the easiest way.
It's the easiest way to go. This is a 2-inch strip of fabric. This is a 1-inch bias tape maker that will make a 1/2 inch finished
double fold
piece of bias tape. I'm going to start by spraying this with a tiny bit of Best Press just for kicks and giggles because it'll keep my fold nice and tight.
It helps the fold stay after you've pressed it. So if you're going to make a bunch and then get to it later, Best Press is important.
Yeah, to hold its shape. Got a pin or
I'm on it.
Something. Then I just, sorry. The iron
Get the iron out of the way. I'll hold it.
Just kind of want to inch it in and through.
You'll notice there's a gap there.
There's a little gap.
Seriously to stick a pin in and push it through.
Actually, I don't like your pins. They're too sharp. I want the dull end of your scissors.
Oh, fine.
But see, I just need to get the fabric through a tiny bit so I can get a hold of it.
Yep.
Okay. And then this handy little thing right here will come in handy. Okay.
You hold it.
So it started. Here's my point. Guys, you want to get it kind of even. And then all of a sudden, there's a fold. That is dirty. Look on your iron.
I don't know. Somebody played with it. I'm glad you realized it was dirty.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab a dryer sheet.
Grab a different, yeah. Her iron's dirty, sorry. I'm going to use the back of it that's not dirty.
We have dryer sheets over here, which are miraculous.
Yeah, if you've never used a dryer sheet to clean an iron, they're like absolute miracle. So what I do is I pull it out and I iron behind it. It's really fancy. It's not fancy. And then I have this folded, so I already got the 2 folds in. I pulled it through too tight, so I've got
Can you guys see how dirty that is? That one's not as good. Come on.
These are cheap dryer sheets.
They're cheap dryer sheets. It's cleaner than it was.
Almost done.
Almost.
Whew. But then your house smells like a dryer sheet for about a year. But there are worse smells out there. Then
Ouch.
Don't touch it with your fingers.
It kind of burned me.
You think she'd learn?
I like getting burned when we do these videos.
Okay, you're
it's
good.
like my hobby.
Stop.
There we go.
Her dryer's clean now. Her dryer. Her iron's clean now.
I'm going to
Guys,
turn that over though.
that's all that took. Ironing a dryer sheet. I'm not kidding. It's magic.
Then Bounce works better than whatever this brand was.
That's like Western Family.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so I've got mine folded in half. I got a weird crinkle in it because I was focused on a dirty iron.
Okay. Personal preference though, when I do this,
Upside down.
I do it upside down so that I can control the crinkle.
So all you
I'm a
gotta
control
do
freak.
is then fold it in half. It's still dirty. It's the mat. I don't know what's going on. Anyway.
That's how they work.
And then I have bias tape. And it's made double fold, opens up. So if you are making masks and you're in need of bias tape and you have scrap fabric, that's all you need is a bias tape maker. You can do it by hand, but it's a handy dandy tool.
And they're
Okay.
what, $7.99?
Yeah. So yeah.
$7.99.
Use them all the time. I'm gonna trade mats just for the heck
Just
of
for
it.
kicks. Well, I'd rather we not.
Anyway. Oh, it's on too hot.
Well, don't burn stuff.
It's because it's on the wool setting.
Oh, well, it doesn't need to be on the. Well, still, that one's dirty.
Anyway,
I'm
okay.
cleaning that. All right, let's talk triangles. Okay. So as far as cutting these things out goes, I set this under here. I don't like to cut it all. The way to do this, whether you're cutting out of fat quarters or yardage, I need some more background ones, so I'm going to cut out of yardage here, is to cut strips and then to cut your triangles from the strips. With this pattern, we want the triangles to be 8 inches tall, so I'm going to cut an 8-inch strip, which is one of those times that I love having an 8.5-inch ruler.
Okay, I bought an 8.5-inch ruler about a year ago because I needed it for a single project and thought I will never use this thing again. I use that thing all the time.
I like my 8.5-inch ruler. Hey, where'd my...
It's amazing how often I use it.
Alright, so I'm just going to cut an 8-inch tall strip. Get my excess out of the way. And then I just lay this out, lay my ruler on top of it, and cut around it. Now, because I only want this 8 inches tall, and my ruler is 8.5 inches, I just line up the 8-inch line with the bottom of my strip.
You guys kind of see what she's doing?
The top
is at the very top.
Right at the top. So it's perfect.
This is why we like the rulers or the templates that have a flat top. If it comes to a point, it can get kind of confusing. Okay.
Right.
So if you're cutting a template, don't skip the step of cutting off the top.
Honestly,
this is how you're
I
gonna
mean,
get accurate pieces.
the fact that these corners over here are
pointy, is
sharp,
not a big deal.
pointy, not a big deal. But we need at least one of the 3 corners to be flattened off because it just makes it easier. I mean, honestly, you can do it with all of them pointy, but it's just harder and that's more work. And then you
That's
have
hard to get your rows straight instead of going traveling up or down.
Right. Because we're doing this in rows, which really is the easiest way.
Yes. I made one like this like 3 years ago.
Yeah?
It was one of those Africa ones.
Ah. Oh,
With
yeah.
Ghana fabrics. I made one out of triangles.
All
I was
right.
still using then. Ghana make a difference? We did make all those. They sent us fabric. Aren't they out of Star?
Star.
Yeah, there's a group out of Star. And they sent us, they had fabric and we got fabric from them and then pieced together quilts and then gave them back the quilt tops. And then they sell them and the money goes back to Africa where the fabric comes from.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a...
It's called Ghana Make a Difference. Ghana,
Yes.
G-H-A-N-A.
yeah.
All right.
Like the country.
So I trimmed this down because I also am going to be using 4 1/4 inch tall triangles
See,
for
she's
this.
got some little ones.
So it's the same thing. Because it's smaller, I go ahead
And line it up.
and line it up on the bottom line at 4 1/4. I trimmed this at 4 1/2 because I'm an idiot. But that's okay. I'm just going to trim
All 3 sides.
all 3 sides.
Don't cut yourself.
I'll try not to. I usually don't like to cut this way, but
No, it's not.
it's not as bad. It's not terrible with triangles to go this way. What's bad is going this way.
Yeah, don't cut
don't
towards
do it.
yourself.
Just don't do it. At least going
Mary,
this way, I'm going away from myself.
Yes.
All right, so that's cutting with triangles. It's super easy because we're starting with the basics, which are just strips.
If you've got, that's the easiest way to cut it, is in strips. If you've got a good ruler, it makes it even easier. It can be done with a paper or plastic template as well, though. So the ruler's not an absolute must.
Right, you could draw
handy.
it out. You could do measurements. That's totally up to you.
My husband's gonna watch this and make fun of my faces. That's what he does. Sorry.
Makes fun of the faces
I just
you make.
realized I was making some faces, and that's my husband likes to laugh.
He likes to laugh at your faces that you make.
Yep.
All right, so just for kicks, we're going to start with one of the little triangles.
So if you
Because we're going to talk about how to put the triangles together.
Some of the big triangles are comprised of multiple little
ones.
triangles, which is fun.
Super fun, man. And because I am
And so
who
she's
I
using
am,
a white on white, and so you have to look closely to see which is the right
but
side.
you know, the the grunge is directional, kind of. So I don't want it, like, at an angle.
But you've got a top and a bottom there, so that's pretty easy to figure out. Just saying.
Yep. Oh, that one I trimmed on 2 sides. I was being extra diligent, something inch. Okay, but what I am doing, I still want to make sure at the top of my triangle here, I'm putting my flat side. I mean, I could totally rotate it and do this, but then it wouldn't have the flat top like all of my other triangles. So I'm going to keep with it.
So to sew these together,
it's like anything else.
The trick with triangles is knowing where to stop and start. And I'm going to zoom in here because I want you guys to see this close up. Because this is the hardest part, the biggest question, the everything I ever get about triangles.
But this is also why it's awesome to have
that point,
this blunted end. Because I'm going to be finishing right here.
And you can see her other blunted end.
You can see
underneath, right there.
This dark one right here. So I'm going to be putting my needle in right there. Sewing a 1/4 inch along the side. And coming out right here. Now, if my seam's an accurate 1/4 inch, I don't need to be looking for that blunt end. I can just sew.
You are not going to line these up exactly. And that's the biggest thing you have to know with triangles, is you have to have your 1/4 inches extending on both ends, depending on whether it's the top or the bottom.
Right. And honestly, it just makes so much easier to have
one blunted end.
One blunted end.
On each triangle. Mm-hmm. Makes sense? Sorry, I almost just said that in Spanish.
My kids today, I said something to them in Spanish, and they were like, what language is that? They're like, I need to learn. I was like, hey, Rosetta Stone is doing free stuff for K-12 right now.
How handy is that?
Right?
I don't know. The last thing I need... I'm still trying to get my kids to read in English right now. So we're not going to worry about trying a new language today.
No? Charlotte thinks she needs to learn Arabic.
Okay, well,
she took out some of my old textbooks.
Got a friend... Haley's doing some lessons.
I know.
We've got a friend who... from college who runs a nonprofit refugee program in Greece for
like Syrian
and what's the other ones? I know this.
Oh, it's so bad I can't think of it.
Anyway, for a lot of the refugees out of Eastern Europe.
They do
they do education and everything, and she's amazing and runs these refugee camp and charities that help support the refugee communities out there while they're waiting to resettle somewhere. And she's doing some Arabic training for kids while everything's shut down. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know if I have any of my old Spanish textbooks, but she got my Arabic ones.
Oh, it's a way to start easy.
Right. We're going to start with the hardest one.
Oh, wait.
Greek would be easier.
I think they all sound complicated. Dry off the iron. I turned it down a lot. because it was there.
I
That's
still
better.
don't like it.
It was eating the mat. I did something to her iron. It's my bad. I turned it on way too hot.
I just want to make sure it's not going to ruin my fabric. Do
you want a different iron?
Hmm?
Do you want a different iron?
It's okay. I almost got it. I got scrap fabric to scrub an iron with. That's reasonable, right? Right?
Something. Okay.
Okay, now I did this a few different ways last night just to play with it. There's really not a right answer.
They can't see it.
Sorry. There's really not a right answer with pressing open or closed. I tried it both open, both
You're
closed.
going to press it towards the white?
I am!
Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm doing?
She's pressing it out away
I'm
from the
pressing
center.
away from the center.
Because she's going to have, otherwise you have seams overlapping in the center. And she is choosing not to have all those seams overlap in the center.
Yep.
So she's pressing her black fabric to the light.
And look, can
breaking
you see
all the
it? Can you
rules.
see it? No, because I did a 1/4 inch seam.
And once you quilt it and put it back on it, you don't see it anyway.
You're not going to see it. Anyway, I did. I'm breaking all the rules. Not only I pressed
Although
to the
Jen and I don't believe that that's a rule anyway.
Right.
Okay.
Here's
You're
the
going to
next
see
one.
where it lines
Look.
up here.
So this one's fun because I'm still lining it up this side.
Where there's that
all
1/4
on
of an
here,
inch
1/4
over.
of an inch. But because this side has a point too, it's going to go right on top of that.
Because she's already attached it to something else. Is this making sense? I hope this makes sense.
Honestly, a lot of it is learning that this doesn't line up. It's not... You're going to have gaps.
If you're trying to line up point to point, it's not going to be straight.
I mean, you can if they're all triangles and not blunted ends. However, it's harder to be accurate that way.
Even then, you can't. Even then you can't. Because it's got to overlap one direction.
Yep.
Anyway. So, this is just... Triangles are a little tricky that way. And once you learn how to line them up to sew...
Then they're mindless.
Then it's no longer really tricky. But you have to learn that.
Right. Sorry, Jen's a chain piecer.
Well, I know. We all know. We're aware.
You guys know that. If this is your first time here, Jen's a chain piecer.
Yeah, she can't
It's
cut
compulsive.
thread.
I can't
It's
have it.
against the rules.
I can cut thread just so long as there's not a tail.
Okay.
Again,
see, now we have
pressed
this
out.
point.
There's the bottom of my triangle. I'm going to flip this over. And if I didn't have... I'm going to grab a piece that doesn't have 2 blunt ends. Just for kicks.
Make sure it's facing the right direction.
I will. I cut them all facing the right direction. It's the benefit of doing strips.
Okay, so now she's got 2 points, and
2
they're going to
points,
line up with the black
and they're
points
going to line
this
up
time.
with those black points down there. So this one should be
Really easy to lay out.
fairly mindless for laying it out.
Nothing tricky here.
Nope. But like I said earlier, if you know, it bothers you terribly that I'm pressing toward the white and you want to press toward
Whatever
the
way
dark,
you want. I don't
feel
really
free.
care.
You want to press open? Feel free. I did want to kind of play with it, so I did it both ways at home yesterday. And I didn't notice a huge difference, but this is the way I felt was the flattest.
And that's kind of what we go for.
Right.
Okay.
I go for flat when it comes to how I press.
Oh, hello, Delma.
Hi,
Okay.
Mama.
So, that's the 4
That's a
pieces
pieced triangle.
that are turning into 1 piece. Sorry, I got too close to your iron.
Back off.
Yeah.
Okay, now, if I want to,
She could measure it.
I can take my ruler.
And it is good to cut
We're
off
throwing stuff.
these
Lay it on top.
overlapping.
And see how I'm doing here. I'm a little scant on that side, no big deal. But I still have my 1/4 inch seams. I'm going to go ahead and cut off my little fly guys over here.
You should cut it off on the bottom. It's kind of like when you're doing your half square triangles, cutting off those little extra points.
They're just good to get rid of. Now, just for kicks, I'm going to show you how to add a big one. It's actually exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Which one should we do? How about my favorite?
Ooh, I love this one. Those cute birdies.
Right? Now you guys are all going to be jealous that you didn't get this fat 1/4 one.
Sorry, I'd say, well, not really sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Except this one has to be right side up, so this one's going to have to go down.
Yep.
Like this. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing we did with the small triangles, but with big ones.
Triangles. So the same overlap right here.
I've got
You're going to see the bottom one pointing out
Mm-hmm.
and the top one going over the top.
Yep.
And if you need to measure those to make yourself feel good, it should overlap 1/4 inch each way.
Now, if you'll remember, I told you that this top one that I pieced was slightly scant on one side. The nice thing is, I know that this larger one that I didn't piece
Is accurate.
is accurate. So as far as how I'm going to do my seam, how I'm going to center this on here, I'm going to go by the one I cut, not the one I pieced, because that's going to be the more accurate of the two.
And we talked about that a little bit with like the snowball, when we were snowballing corners on our very first live.
If you have something you cut versus something you pieced, the cut one is probably more accurate than the pieced one.
Stick with that line.
Mm-hmm.
It's just better.
It's just better.
Yeah. I'll let you do this.
All right, I'll do this.
Talk some more.
And then we'll talk about how to do the edges, because those are half triangles.
Did you cut half triangles?
No, but we're gonna.
Oh.
You can take a big one and cut it in half.
You need to match up with that and be cute.
It just means that this is going to be on the end row of my quilt when I finish it. Someday. Someday.
Yeah. Let's do it thatched.
No, the halves are white.
Oh, just kidding. I messed up her pile of triangles.
Oh, but it was such a pretty pile.
Okay.
I liked my pretty pile.
I know, it was pretty. Good job.
Good job. Thanks.
Where's your ruler?
And
The straight one.
it was right there. ¿Adónde?
I don't know.
Ah. All right.
I'm going to find her ruler.
Yeah, because we need one.
Oh, it's here.
Oh, I
big
put
guy.
it over there. Okay.
Here's the big guy.
So again, press whichever way you want. For me, because this is going to be, it's going to end up being rows, I will do one row all the way to the left and another one all the way to the right. So this row, I'm just going to decide to press this direction. But I'll decide that as I put my rows together, which way to press these. If you want to not have to worry about that at all, press them open.
Yes. Otherwise, pick a direction.
Right. All right. So this is the start of my quilt. Now, the end, because we don't want to waste
Now, what you
all
can
of this
do is just sew on a triangle and at the end, square it all up.
Right.
And that's what we do with a lot of our kaleidoscopes and whatnot, because cutting those pieces are finicky.
Right.
But because this is an equilateral triangle,
right,
we don't have to do that, so we don't have to waste fabric.
Right. We don't have to have the waste. And
But
this
it's
can now be
totally
2
valid
end pieces versus 1 end piece.
To just leave it a triangle.
So for a fabric miser such as myself,
she's going to cut it in half.
I'm going to cut it in half so it can be both. So what I'm going to do is, I know, it's like, I didn't even know it was in there. I'm going to go ahead and measure along the bottom
Me either,
here.
that's because I use this line to make a jelly roll rug.
I know.
You know, see those prints in a rug.
So the sides of this triangle are 9.5 inches. So half of 9.5 is 4
4.75
or 4 3/4.
So she's going to measure over 4 3/4.
I'm going to have a nice straight line along the bottom here. I'm going to come over here where I don't have the half.
This is a really big ruler for this part.
Right. Generally, this is where my 6-incher would work well. So I'm at 4 3/4 here. I've got a straight line.
Got a straight line, and then it's
and
right in the
I'm
middle
centering
of the point.
my intersect on the top there. So this is where I'm going to cut.
And now she has an extra.
This will be for my next row. I can set my giant ruler down.
It's a really big ruler for this
It is
cut.
a big ruler for this cut. But I didn't bring my whole library of rulers. Alright, so it goes like this.
Same deal.
Same deal.
Blunt end. This one needs to poke over by 1/4 inch.
Right. This has to go over the edge.
So this one's not going to look like it fits completely
Mhm.
because we cut the blunt end in half.
Right. But if I just leave it how
If
it
you
is,
made
you'll
sure
see my
that-
seam allowance is like an eighth of an inch. It's not enough.
Yeah. So you guys bring it down. Make
Squidge
sure
it.
it overhangs a quarter of an inch so that you...
Because I want right here to be a quarter of an inch from the edge. And right there is going to be just fine. It's just not as blunty as we normally would have it. As blunty? As lined up-ish?
She's making up words again.
I do that.
Okay. Well, she pins this. I'm going to tell you about something fun. Sarita and Jen and I were just talking, and so we just barely set up this sale. So I haven't posted about it yet, so nobody knows yet. But if you've been in the shop, you might be familiar with our 3 and 5 yard bundles. It's 3 1-yard cuts or 5 1-yard cuts. We normally sell them at 10% off what would have been retail for the yardage. So this one's normally $59.99. This one's $35.99. We just listed a new item on our website, items, and they're called Mystery 3-yard bundle and Mystery 5-yard bundle. And they are half price of these. So this one will be $29.99 and this one is $17.99.
Yes.
But
they're a mystery.
But they're a mystery.
No, we promise.
So when you go to checkout, first of all of our fabric is cute. We're gonna start there because we pick it out.
We only buy pretty things.
We like cute fabric. But when you go to checkout, you can tell us your favorite color or holiday or whatever, and we will try our very best to send you something in that category. If you're unfamiliar with what you can do with these 3 and 5 yard bundles, you can just add them to your stash. They can be fun, less expensive fabric to make masks with if you're doing that. Or
I hadn't even thought of that.
I know, right? Because solid colors are only so exciting. Or there's the Quilt Factory. If you go on our website and Google the Quilt Factory, that has a ton of 5 yard patterns. These use 5 1-yard cuts of fabric. And so this thing will make this quilt top and bind it, which is fun. And then there's also 3-yard patterns and 3-yard pattern books. So you can use this whole thing to make this. And so, anyway, they're just a lot of fun. But right now, you guys get the inside
Just
scoop
through the
because
weekend.
I haven't posted it. Through the weekend, our 3 and 5 yard bundles are half price, but they are a mystery.
Right.
So, tell us what you like. We'll try and make you happy. But it's a great way to add to that stash that might be getting depleted while you're stuck at home with some fun new fabric. So,
right.
Anyway,
Super fun.
should be fun.
Should be.
Plus, I love pulling mystery. Seriously, we have done some concierge shopping lately for people. It's been
It's been
fun,
something.
slightly stressful.
It's been right when it's like, hey, this is the pattern I like. Pull some fabric and make me a kit.
You're like, great.
Okay.
We'll have fun.
It'll be great. It'll be great.
Anyway, it's fun. So anyway, if you're interested, those are now live on our website.
Right. And they're definitely, I mean, they're such a good deal. So
It's like half price fabric. It's
Right.
really
it is. It's half price fabric.
the last time these were half price was Black Friday, and that's probably the only other time they will ever be half price. And so there's your shop. Jen sewed on her side. Sorry, I was talking while she did that. See, so now you have a straight edge on the edge of your quilt.
And see how this doesn't quite match up? Guess what? That's fine. Because
fine
see, this right
because-
here is my seam allowance.
That's her seam allowance, and after it gets quilted, it will be in the binding
Well, it'll be in the binding
or
anyway.
the border,
But-
however you do it.
But that's the seam allowance for putting it into the next row.
Yeah, so
it's
that's
not-
how it should
It's
be.
how it's supposed to be. I
Okay.
didn't do it wrong, I promise.
Did I mess something up?
No, this is the
Oh.
small roll of sticks.
Oh, yeah.
Another fun thing,
Oh.
if you're
Do I have a bundle?
No,
I think I sold the
I do.
last one today.
but we have more. Our friends at Poppy Cotton, I want to do a shout out for them. They are starting a sew along next week.
Yeah.
And they're gonna do their flower
I think on Wednesdays.
market pattern. This uses their new Daisy May fabric line. And
It's also
So-
fat quarters, so this is also something you could do
you
with
could
fat
do it out of
quarters
your
you have in your
stash
stash.
if you've got a fat quarter bundle. or we have kits available.
Right.
But yeah, our friends at Poppy Cotton are doing us all along, and it's these cute, adorable flowers. Jesse's gonna show us some of them.
They're so
Got
pretty.
daisies, and this one has chickens. So
And
it's in
bunnies.
great navies
And
and
chicks. And
pinks
strawberries.
and
And
happy,
butterflies.
beautiful, soft fabrics.
Right?
So-
They're very sweet, springy colors.
This is Daisy May.
So those are some fun things
Fun
that
things
are
going
going to
on.
be going on.
Houses.
Oh, yeah, we got all kinds of new houses. You guys, this is like the best part of our day right now.
Sruba checks the mail and it makes her happy.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the new ones from
Since
today,
the last time.
yesterday and today. Mom made hers, and then we had a second one from Tammy. They were too many to fit the board. But keep sending them in. They're fun, and it's
Are
fun
they
to see
so
people's
fun?
names on them. Some people have gotten very intricate. Christy put a doorknob on hers. I love it.
Right.
There's lots of embroidery going on here, or some are just simple, and I love that too. Okay, don't get too crazy. Bonnie put her sheep on hers, which is really a lot of fun.
Karen's has her farm animals.
Yeah, farm animals.
But like Liz went all
And
wonderful
she did some
embroidery,
like,
and it's
beaded
stunning.
embroidery on there. So
But
they're
we-
so fun. We love it, and I'm super excited to make our village.
I've started pinning them all up on the design board
In the
in in our classroom, and it's so fun because like this is gonna be a real quilt.
It's gonna be super fun. Don't worry about a specific backing or a specific color. Think clearly.
We're all over the place.
We're all over the place, and I want it to be you, and that's what's gonna be super fun about it.
Right. It needs
So,
to be you.
Be yourself. Make it you. Use whatever fabric makes you happy,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever you got sitting around in some scraps.
The pattern is on our website.
Still on our website. I've probably put links to it about 6 places. If you can't find it, message me and I'll send it to you. But the free patterns on our website, if you ever can't find the free patterns like this one, there's a tab under our website called Resources.
Mm-hmm.
And under that is a tab for free patterns. So just go to Resources. That's where you're going to find it.
Yep. All of our free patterns are there.
Always
Except for the newsletter free patterns, because those are only free for a little while.
Yeah. And I
Which
promise I'm
the
working on
newsletter's
that.
coming, I promise. We're just waiting on somebody to finish writing the
Life
free
is really
pattern.
busy, and
What?
it's a complicated free pattern. So
It's a complicated free pattern, and she's homeschooling.
and I'm homeschooling and doing this and working among other
Right.
things.
So
So be patient with me.
Sorry.
Jen might send a newsletter without it, and it might come later. So you will get it. It's just a matter of when I can get it done.
well, at least you're not going to watch my kids tomorrow.
That is helpful. I just have to watch my own kids.
Might be easier to have my kids, because then
Yeah,
they'll
but-
distract each other.
I know, but we can't do that these days. and
No,
it kinda sucks.
no, they miss their cousins.
But yeah. So anyway, triangles, guys, they're fun. Play
And
with it.
they're not hard.
They're not as scary, and you might have to. The first time I did triangles, I unpicked that first seam about 4 times
To try and line it up right.
to try and line it up right, and then I learned how, and it was good. So
I mean, there's a learning curve to anything.
yeah,
I just think these triangle projects are really fun because they're really not complicated.
but it's
but
a different shape.
It's such a fun break from squares
Squares.
and strips and
45-degree triangles
45
because we do a lot of those.
right. Right.
So fun stuff. If you're wondering about the cute little sign up there, our little sister Allie makes those. They're in
Oh
the
yeah,
shop.
this it's for sale. It's
It's
what?
for sale.
It's
$15.
$18.
Is it 18?
It's
$18.
$18.
But it's I know nobody wants. I know well, you might want it just for a commemoration. Right now, I don't want it. Yeah, I don't want to stay home.
Normally, my introverted self is like, yeah, let's
Yeah,
stay
let's stay
home.
home.
And now I'm like, oh my gosh,
Let's go out.
let's go somewhere.
We're surviving.
I left my house and my husband's like, you going to work? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go to work.
That's how it works around here these days.
I mean, not that it's quiet here.
So, but anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. Sorry
Yeah,
this one wasn't
this-
quite as
this was-
interactive, but it's still a
This
fun
one's
project.
short. On Saturday, we are
Gonna talk easy piecing grids.
by
Okay.
10 Sisters, which is also under our resources tab.
Yes, there's more 10 Sister stuff there.
It's another free pattern.
This is a free pattern. This is a flag. And if you've gotten a lot of questions, you can do it in any size
Any size.
of her grids. And there are 4 sizes on the pattern. There are 3 listed, but there are 4.
I'm going to go grab them.
The smallest one is tiny. Prepsters is Idaho one.
I will.
We can show what the smallest size is. So to do it, you need 2 panels. It's a quick project. They're a lot of fun. Or you can just watch and figure out what it's all about. I will have part of it prepped ahead of time so that it doesn't take too long. But grab your red, white, and blue scraps.
Right. We're almost out of the 2.5.
We're almost out of the big stuff. And so I'm not going to do the big one.
So if you want to be crazy.
This is the smallest size. This is the 1/2-inch finish.
It doesn't look as crazy on here because they're 1-inch
a
squares.
1-inch square. It will finish this big.
Right.
But it's seriously adorable.
Oh, I mean,
and
it's super cute.
Christy made a pillow out of it, out of this pattern, the Idaho, on a pillow with it, and it was adorable.
Oh, it was so
This
cute.
hangs above Sarita's desk here, and it just
Okay.
is adorable.
The next size is this one. This is the 1-inch finish.
Yeah, so it starts with the 1.5-inch square, finishes 1 inch.
Right. The next size is this one. This is the 1.5-inch finished. So that's going to be using 2-inch squares.
And this is the one that uses like a 2.5-inch square or a mini charm that finishes at 2 inches.
Right.
So those are your options. You need 2 of them.
Yep.
Technically, I think they're $2.99 or something.
They're
a
$2
panel.
or $3.99. It depends on how big the panel is.
So
But
but
gonna
they're
do
fun
easy
to get.
piecing grid.
Easy piecing grids, and we're gonna do the flag. And I'm gonna cut my stuff for it tonight and take it home to prep for you guys. So it'll be a lot of fun.
That'll be
on
Saturday night. Mm-hmm.
And then we are setting our schedule for next week. So we've got some plans, but as always, if you've got a suggestion, let's talk. Send us a message.
I need that pattern back on
Mom's impatient. Just kidding. Not just kidding.
Well, actually,
that's
we're live, so she can't run the long arm because it's loud.
So she's cutting.
So
She's
she's
cutting
cutting
bits to do. All good. So anything else? Did I miss anything? Going ahead. We miss you guys.
Oh, and
The shop is
we've been uploading these
quiet.
videos onto YouTube.
Yes. So,
So
if you
want
can't find it on
to-
Facebook or you don't want to be on Facebook,
Or you want to share with a friend.
it's on YouTube. And please share. It's good for us.
Actually, subscribe to YouTube
Subscribe
because
to
that
our
gets
YouTube
it
channel.
to where
That
more people see it.
also helps us too.
But yeah, just go to YouTube and search JK Quilts.
It's gonna be
We're
there.
there. Actually, we can make a link to it on our website.
We
I should do that. I'll get on that. I'll do it.
We're getting there, but it takes about 3 hours to upload one to YouTube. So
3. try like 9.
it takes a long.
Because these are long videos.
time.
So I like go to bed and wake up in the morning and it's like, oh good,
So they're-
63%.
They're gradually getting uploaded onto our YouTube page.
Yeah, between all the Zoom meetings my kids are having and
Our
all the
internet's
internet
just
use
slow.
at home, my internet's going.
So anyway,
Very slow.
they're getting there, but we'll see you again Saturday
Saturday
evening
night
at 7, and we're gonna make a flag instead of an Idaho. But
So you could make an Idaho.
we could make an Idaho. Clearly, this has been done by at least 2 people I know.
I still haven't made an Idaho. I think I'm the only one in the shop who has made an Idaho.
Mom hasn't. Did Mom make one?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, someone's phones are ringing. But
Alright.
have a good night, folks. We'll see you later. I'm gonna go home and take it. It's not a nap, I guess.
It's called
going to
bedtime.
bed.
Go to bed.
But miss you guys. We'll see ya. Bye.